Could it be? Me, your man, Louie T. Welcome to lockdown coverage week number 13 in the National Football League. Minnesota Vikings on the road taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Vikings coming into this game red hot, 9-2 on the season, looking to make it 10-2 in improbable fashion. With Case Keenum, I can't quite get my head around Case Keenum at quarterback leading a 10-2 team, potentially with a win here on the road. Just flabbergasted at how this is getting done. Now, granted, it's an outstanding defense that he's helping lead to this 10-2 start to the season, but I don't give a damn. Still got to play good quarterback. And Case Keenum is doing it at a very high level, the likes of which we never could have envisioned Case Keenum doing it at. I mean, let's face it. No one expects Case Keenum to do what it is he's doing week in, week out. I still don't. Even though I'm seeing it with these two eyes, I still don't expect to see it when it's happening. I keep waiting for that one mistake where I go, yep, there's Case Keenum. There's his ass, all right. He's still in there somewhere. At one point in the second half, the man was 13 of 13. I don't know if he incompleted a pass in the second half. I just know late in the fourth, he was 13 of 13. It's Case Keenum. What? I know, right? But at the same time, as we say that, this Viking defense continues to get done. Now, and some Vikings fans are going to kill me during this video, after this video, and I'm totally prepared for that. I'm cool with that. This is a good Vikings defense. It's not great. I'll tell you what, they got one great player on their defense, maybe two. I think Everson Griffin, when he's right, he's one of the better pass rushers in this league. But Xavier Rhodes, come on. We know. When he goes up against the league's best, he's going to shut it down. And as you've heard before, all roads end on that side of the field. Don't come over there, right? And that's fine. And can we all agree? Can we just agree on this? Vikings fan, non-Vikings fan, doesn't matter. Can we just agree on this? Xavier Rhodes has reached Darrelle Revis, Dick Sherman status in this league. And you ask yourself, what exactly does that mean, Louie T? Here's what that means. You have a license to assault and molest receivers as you so please. We've seen Darrelle Revis roughhouse receivers for years in this league. Revis Island was more like a molestation cage. Undress guys, grope them, do what you see fit, will turn a blind eye. All right? Dick Sherman, for years, was getting away with assault. Look, some of the things I've seen Xavier Rhodes do on a football field, I've seen guys get 2 to 5 years in prison for. The way he's yoking up receivers, tossing them around, grabbing jersey, flinging guys around, that's not generally what you're allowed to get away with at the cornerback position. But when you've reached a certain status in this league, you're allowed to get away with a little bit of extra on the side. You know how you go up to that ordering counter and you say, hey, can I get a little, and I'm a huge Chipotle guy. As a vegan, I eat a ton of Chipotle. And every now and again, hey, let me get a little bit of that guac on the side. You get the right person, right? And they'll do it. No questions asked, no extra charge. But you get the wrong server, you know that's going to be extra, right? Man, just put my goddamn guac on the side and shut up. That's Xavier Rhodes. Some officials, they're not turning a blind eye to the savagery that is Xavier Rhodes. Then you got some other referees that are like, hey, man, I didn't see nothing. And Xavier Rhodes is body slamming the receiver over there. How many times did I look up and Julio Jones is on the ground in this game? Because Xavier Rhodes tackled him. No flag. But then, you already know this, man. So why? Is that something that is a part of the game plan? No. You should already go into the game knowing your best receiver, he's going to take him away. So what you have to do is plan to go elsewhere. And while this Vikings defense is good, they've got liabilities on the field at all times. I watched my Redskins rack up 30 points on these boys. I watched Matthew Stafford, who was horrible on Thanksgiving, stop his team from beating the same Vikings outfit. Could have easily scored 30. Wide open Theo Riddick in the flats. For a screen, walk-in touchdown. Just got to throw it over the defense. He didn't even have to throw it accurately. Just guide it. Just let it go. He airmails it. Golden Tate running unmolested down the seam on zero blitz. Touchdown. Matthew Stafford overthrows him by 6 whole yards. I'm not saying this defense is terrible, because they're not. They're a good group. But they can be exploited. But you have to go in with a game plan knowing I can't throw to my best. And if you understand that, then you too can score 30 points against the Vikings. You too can have a successful day that gives you a chance to win against the Vikings. Hell, Devontae Freeman ran for 72 yards on just 12 carries. That's 6 a pop. He was killing them on the ground. There were some calls I wasn't in love with. But at the end of the day, on third downs, that's the money down in this league, Vikings held the Falcons to 1 of 10. Why? Because the Falcons some way, somehow seemed ill-prepared for third down and long, third down and manageable. Hell, third down and short. I saw an elementary offense trying to execute. Bunch of pick plays and no. You know what the good teams do on third down? In 5, 3rd and 4, 3rd, they find their money players. You know what the Vikings consistently did in this game? You know what Case Keenum? Yes, Case Keenum. I'm referencing Case Keenum. Do you know how asinine this sounds? I'm referencing Case. You know what Case Keenum did on 3rd and 5 at the end of this game to seal it up? He threw the ball to Adam Thielen on a slant. Against who? Goodwin at corner. You know why Goodwin was in the game? No Desmond Trufant. You know what that's called? Taking advantage of a matchup. Or in this case, a mismatch. When he ran that slant, Goodwin was running 3 yards the other way. Smoked his ass. Easy money. Game over. That's what you do on third down. And sometimes you'll get away with Laquan Treadwell bobbling the football 800 times because you got a bum corner checking him too on a 3rd and 3, and he picks up a first down. If that corner would have just ran through Treadwell incomplete. But when you got bums on the field, that's what happens. But I said that to say this. At any given time, you're going to have Mohamed Sanu. Check, check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Guess who? Mohamed Sanu on, which is a favorable matchup, the young boy from Michigan State. Trey Waynes. I take it. I don't know about you. I like my Mohamed Sanu against Trey Waynes matchup. I'll take that one all day long because I expect 12 to win. Anybody against Mackenzie Alexander, I'll take that one for a win. So if that means I got to put Mohamed Sanu in the slot to get me some Mohamed Sanu versus Mackenzie Alexander action, guess what I'm going to do? Put Mohamed Sanu in the slot to get me some Mohamed Sanu versus Mackenzie Alexander action. Hell, I'll take any receiver against Mackenzie Alexander in the slot to whoop his ass because I've seen it done. What I won't do is worry about Julio Jones over there with Xavier Rhodes. I won't do that. I won't worry about that. Just call that a wash. I'll take some shots when I get a chance. 1 or 2 throws over there every quarter just to make sure everything's copacetic over there. But for the most part, I'm taking advantage of Mackenzie Alexander in the slot. And I'm taking advantage of Trey Waynes out wide. And I'm taking my chances with that. Not running a pick play that Mackenzie Alexander can easily get underneath and make a play on. I'm not trying to get cute and get fancy and want to run all these different combination routes rub routes. No, I'm going to go to my best receiver, and they've got two of them. And I'm going to say, hey, bruh, win. One-on-one, win. It's not hard. Win. They didn't do it. Hats off to the Vikings for making it tough on them. But the Falcons didn't take advantage of some opportunities. We're going to talk about this game in its entirety, get to some comments, and get out of here. But if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the Louie T Network for more great content in 2017 and beyond. We're changing the game over here. I want you to help us do that by simply hitting that subscribe button and becoming a member of the Louie T Network. I've got a number of social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. All will keep you abreast of what's going on here on the Louie T Network. So hit that subscribe button. Go down in the description of this video and every video I do. You'll find the links to every single one of those social media platforms that I just referenced. And you'll also find a way to donate to this channel. Those two different entities, Patreon and PayPal, are the ways that you can donate to the Louie T Network. Those two links that you see in front of you also found down below this video in the description as well. So if you can donate, please do donate to the Louie T Network. That being said, let's get to the Vikings. They were the victors in this game, 14-9 over the Atlanta Falcons to run their record to now 10-2. And if the season ended today, they'd be your #1 seed in the NFC playoffs. Quietly, the Minnesota Vikings are 10-2. How can you be quiet at 10-2? Normally, that's done very loud, rudely, and abruptly. Okay? You abruptly stop someone's winning streak. You abruptly go into someone's house and disrupt whatever they have going on. That's usually done rudely and loudly, not quietly and calmly. But yet the Vikings seem to be under the radar. And I can tell you exactly why. It's never pretty. That's number one. They don't win pretty at all. You don't get to look at a Vikings game and say, wow, you know, they're explosive offensively, even though they can be. I know watching them when they played the Redskins, they were explosive offensively. I know watching them on Thanksgiving versus Detroit, they were explosive offensively. They can be, but most times they're not. Okay, number two, Case Keenum is the quarterback. That should be 1, 2, and 3. Case Keenum is your quarterback. There's still a disbelief in the fact that Case Keenum can get it done at a high level when it matters. Well, he's gotten it done quite a bit this year. Rams, no problem. Lions on the road, no problem. Falcons on the road, no problem. I mean, what this guy is doing has been remarkable this year, and he's playing within the framework of the offense. He's doing what they asked him to do. I mean, this is insane that Case Keenum is playing this brand of football, but Case Keenum is playing this brand of football. And then the last thing that I think is keeping this team from getting more credit is they're a nameless bunch of guys. Like, who's the one star that you point to on this team and say, hey, that guy there, he's a beast. He's the truth. They've got plenty, but if you're not watching, if you don't know, then you don't know. Adam Thielen is one of the best receivers in the league. But if you're not watching, you don't know. Stephon Diggs is a problem. But if you're not watching close enough, you don't know. Kyle Rudolph is a damn good tight end. But if you're not watching close enough, you don't know. Hey, remember when they got Latavius Murray in free agency? Look, Vikings fans, you can't tell me when you got him and you saw what Dalvin Cook was doing at the beginning of the season, you didn't say to yourself, and remember, he was coming off an injury, so he was kind of getting worked in real slow. And he seemed useless at one point because what carries Cook wasn't getting was going to the secret weapon, Jerick McKinnon. And he said, why the hell do we even have Latavius Murray? Why did we waste money on this guy? It seems like a damn good investment now, doesn't it? Doesn't it? I bet it does. And you look at him at the running back position, and if you don't know that the secret weapon, Jerick McKinnon, is a problem, then you don't know. And so you look around at the offense and you say, hey, we got a bunch of guys. Damn good guys, but you don't know. Then you look at the defense and you say, who's the one standout guy over there? Harrison Smith? Nah, most people don't know who Harrison Smith is. Xavier Rhodes? Yeah. He's a damn good corner, but if you're not paying attention close enough, you don't know how good of a corner he is. Is it one of the linebackers, one of those UCLA boys, one of those UCLA boys? Barr or Kendricks? They're good. But are they household names? Nah. What about defensive line? Danielle Hunter or look, man, I'm going to tell you what. That big man inside, in the middle, he's a problem. Yeah, he's a big, big problem. I've liked him since he was a New York Giant. And he's been tearing people a new asshole. And then, of course, you got Big Everson Griffin on the other side. But those names don't strike fear into your heart. Maybe they should, but they don't. So then you say, how are they doing this? And it's games like this as to why people don't understand the beauty that is the Vikings' ugliness. That they seem to get it done week after week. You know what? What struck me as the perfect explanation as to why they're so good. I talked about the Adam Thielen slant to wrap this game up. But this is the first game I got to watch, a Falcons game with my sister this year. You know, she's a Falcons fan, and so it was fun to watch her emotions throughout the game, and she was going nuts, as you could imagine. And I told her, because we were watching the Bills game simultaneously with this game. And in the Bills game, the Patriots kept getting down the field, and they had to settle for field goals early. And me and my dad both said, at some point, Buffalo needs to do something, because the next couple of times Brady and company gets down there, they're not settling for field goals. At some point, they're going to score touchdowns, and they're going to run away with that game. And that's what they did. Buffalo gave up touchdowns. They lost the game 23-3. And we were watching this game, and we said, at some point, Falcons keep getting down there. They're going to get in the end zone. And the beauty of what the Minnesota Vikings did was they didn't need a whole bunch of opportunities. Falcons got down there like 4 times. Probably got into the red zone 2 or 3 times. But they got into the red zone at least twice in this game. You know what they had to do? They had to settle for field goals. The Vikings said, hey, look, man, we just need 2 chances to get down there. And we'll get in. And they got in twice. They made those trips down there count. That's what the good teams do. They don't waste opportunities. They don't mess around with a bunch of small talk. Hey, look, man, I'm just here to get my job done and get the hell out of here. They got in the red zone. They got in the end zone. Meanwhile, the Falcons are over here bumbling and stumbling all over their own feet. Penalties. They had a ton of penalties in this game. Vikings pretty much clean in this game. Kept it nice and clean. Did what they had to do. Got down there effectively, efficiently, and got touchdowns. They didn't make many trips down there, but when they did, they made it count. They got down there a 3rd time, and that was to wrap the game up. This team is so efficient. They don't make mistakes. They don't beat themselves. You know what you're getting out of a Mike Zimmer coached football team. Well-disciplined. They do the things that they're supposed to. Assignment-oriented. They get the job done. And you saw it again in this game. It was fun to watch. This had the feel of a playoff game. The atmosphere was there. And the Vikings took advantage of every opportunity that they got, and they won this game. And while I think you can move the ball on this defense, I think you can score on this defense because I've seen it done, and I got a philosophy. Attack everybody not named Xavier Rhodes is my philosophy. Mackenzie Alexander stinks. Go after him in a slot. They didn't do that in this game. They tried to get cute. Too many times I saw them trying to run pick routes, rub routes. It ain't no need for all of that. Take your best, put them against their worst, win. They didn't do that. Mohamed Sanu went over to the coach and said, get me the football. I can win against these guys. And he was right. And he didn't get enough targets in this game. You don't get the ball to the right guys. I'm still waiting for him to throw the football to the backside of the backfield. But in any event, the Vikings converted on third downs. The Vikings converted in the red zone. The Vikings got off the field on third downs. The Vikings won this game, 14-9. I still don't know if I trust Case Keenum, even though the man is doing everything in his power to say, what more do I have to do? 25 of 30 for like 227 and 2 touchdowns. Never came close to throwing a pick in this game. What more does the man have to do? I don't know. Stop asking, because I still don't believe. And maybe it's just because I've seen Case Keenum and I refuse to believe that there's still not funky Case Keenum somewhere deep down inside waiting to come out. I watched Case Keenum throw his team, and this is against my Redskins, throw his team into a huge lead and almost throw my team back into the game. So I know he's still there. He still exists. But he was fabulous today, man. Again, just like he was on Thanksgiving. This guy is playing top-notch football. It's crazy. Falcons quickly, really disappointed in their performance in this game. They desperately missed Desmond Trufant in this game. Especially on that last third down when Goodwin got beat. That was ugly. Offensively, I didn't think they did a good enough job of getting the football to playmakers. That's point blank, period. I thought they ran it effectively. I thought they could have run it more. You were getting chunks against this Vikings defense out on the perimeters. I thought you had too many penalties that hurt you in this game, especially in the first half. Penalties were killing your drives. And you can't do that against a Minnesota Vikings team that's just so disciplined. You can't afford to fall behind the sticks and expect to convert 3rd and 9. Not against this defense consistently, you won't. And so even when they were in 3rd and manageables, I didn't like the play calling. I thought that they got too cute with their play calling instead of just saying, hey, guys, go win. You know, find a matchup you like and exploit that. And football is not as hard as some people make it out to be. You know, it a lot of times comes down to players and not scheme. You got a guy that you like, that you think can win a certain matchup, you take advantage of that matchup until they make an adjustment. And I thought there were opportunities for them to win some matchups in this game with some isolations, and they didn't take advantage. And they didn't even put their players in the best positions to win. And that, to me, is a problem. When there were some throws for Matt Ryan to make, Julio Jones over the middle of the field, you finally get him away from Xavier Rhodes. They're playing zone coverage, and you got a chance to hit him over the middle of the field. Matt, you can't throw it too high out in front of him, so he takes a rib shot and the ball is incomplete. You got to give him a chance to catch that football. Make better throws. Guys are open. Give them opportunities to make plays. Mohamed Sanu open over the middle of the field. Matt Ryan throws it too low. He tries to go down and dig it out. Initially called a catch. Upon review, it's not a catch. Make a better throw. Those are the throws Case Keenum, yes, I just said it again, was making in this game. He wasn't missing guys open on 3rd down. Matt Ryan was. Take advantage of opportunities. They're there in this game. Can't miss. And this is the type of game where you knew you couldn't afford to miss. Speaking of miss, Matt Bryant, automatic. Missed. Don't do that. This isn't the game for a miss, bro. You of all people, not you. So, too many mistakes. You go to the defensive side of football. I thought that there were some timely runs in there by the Vikings, running the football. But what killed you was 3rd down. You know, and I thought you on defense, I thought you played well. I thought you played well enough to win this game. I'm not going to kill the defense. My sister was killing the defense because she amplified what happened at the end when they needed a stop, down 14-9. They wanted the ball back one more time. They needed to stop. The defense couldn't get off the field. I'm not going to beat the defense up for that. There were 2 drives that I thought were big drives that the defense didn't get stops in. When they were up 9-7, gave up the touchdown drive, and that was a thing of beauty from Case Keenum. 3rd down conversion after 3rd down conversion after 3rd down conversion. 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 5. Case Keenum delivers. Case Keenum delivers. Case Keenum delivers. Every single time. Back-breaking completion after back-breaking completion. Every single time. And then the final drive of the game to ice it. I'm not going to kill the defense for that because outside of those 2 drives, yeah, they was another touchdown drive. But outside of those 2 drives, I thought they played outstanding football to be missing their best corner. And they gave the offense ample opportunities to go win this game. And this was more of offensive loss to me than a defensive loss. But that being said, you need to stop late in this game. You got to go get it. You got to find a way to get the football back to your offense one more time to give them a chance to try to win this game. But I'm not going to kill the defense. I'm not going to sit here and do that because you gave the offense ample opportunities to get the job done, and they simply didn't do it in this game. Credit the Vikings for getting it done, and this is probably their most impressive win of the season. Just to go on the road against a Falcons team who's playing some really good football. Winners of 3 straight, I believe. Beat Seattle, 4 straight. Dallas, Seattle, Tampa Bay. I think there was a game. Yeah, 3 straight. Winners of 3 straight. Seattle, Dallas, Seattle, Tampa Bay. I'm missing one. They beat somebody else in Atlanta, I believe. No, I'm not missing one. So 3 straight. I think it was winners of 3 straight. In any event, they were playing good football. They were playing confident football. It felt like they were hitting their stride, so to speak. So for them to get this win in Atlanta, this was big. It's big football. And every challenge that they've had this season, every big test, they stepped up to the challenge for the most part. So outside of that Pittsburgh game, and that was Case Keenum's first start. And he didn't have the confidence then that he has now. So in any event, Vikings, to get it done 14-9 was not pretty by any stretch of the imagination. But it was gritty, and most importantly, it was their 10th dub of the season. These boys are playing out of their minds right now, and respect is not given, it is earned. They got my respect. I think you can move it on them. I'm not sold on them because Case Keenum's their quarterback. But they got my respect, man. They got my respect. They get the win. They're now 10-2 on the season. And as far as the Falcons are concerned, I had to talk my sister off the ledge. She was pretty distraught after this game. And I simply told her this. You win the rest of your games, you're going to win the division. Think about that for a second. Because winning the rest of your games means you split with Carolina. And by virtue of the Panthers getting swept by the Saints and you beat them, you'll have a better divisional mark than them. Because they're going to finish, if every team in the division finishes 11-5, which a sweep by the Falcons would ensure that. A sweep of the rest of their schedule. Meaning you beat the Saints twice, which drops them to 11-5. That's the best they can finish if you beat them twice. The Saints are 10 and the Saints are 9-3. So yeah, I said that right. A sweep of the Saints would get them to 11-5. That's the best they can finish. A win over the Panthers, the best they could finish is 11-5 at that point, because they're 8-4 right now. And then you beat Tampa Bay. You've got a record of 5-1 in the division, better than anybody else in the division. And you own the season sweep over the Saints, which gives you the tiebreaker over them. And you beat the Panthers and split with them. They're 3-3 in the division. You're 5-1. You get the season. You get the tiebreaker over them. So I told her, look, the wild card is nice, but why set your sights on that when you can set it much higher by winning this division? It starts on Thursday. The rest of your season starts on Thursday. You want to win the division? Beat the Saints on Thursday. Get the ball rolling. So everything you want, if you're the Falcons, still in front of you. I still believe in this football team. I don't necessarily believe in Sark yet as a play caller, but it's year one. But I believe in this defense. I believe in this football team. They're battle-tested. They got what it takes. So we're going to see if they can bounce back. But this is a big one for the Vikings. Let's get to some comments. And we can get out of here quickly. All right. See what we got real quick. Daniel the GOAT says, why you up so late, Lou? I got plenty of games to break down, man. I got to be up late. I enjoyed my day at my parents' house, and I wasn't able to do these games earlier as I watched them, so now I got to do them late, so I don't have to do them tomorrow. Reese says, I enjoyed McKinnon doing the dirty bird in the end zone. I bet you did, man. You take joy in other people's demise. You should take more joy in your Buccaneers doing something good than the joy in somebody else not doing something good. You remind me of the Redskin fans that say, only thing better than a Redskin win is a Cowboys loss. No, there's nothing better than a Redskins win. Should never be someone else's misery trumping your success. Sometimes I feel like, we lost, but hey, Falcons lost. I feel great. Yeah, Falcons lost. That should make you feel good, but a Tampa Bay win should make you feel better. And you probably feel that way, but I just get the vibe sometimes that you would much rather see the Vikings or the Falcons suffer, or somebody in your division. It seems like you have more disdain for the Falcons than anybody else. You would much rather see them suffer than your team have success. And that's probably an inaccurate statement, but it feels that. I'm just telling you how it feels. It appears sometimes. Anyway, let's keep it moving. Blackbird Blitz says, Kyle Shanahan is the son of an NFL champion. He literally was born in the system. Sark not only needs to learn the Shanahan system, he has to learn NFL defenses and defensive matchups. I don't necessarily know if he's running the offense the way that it should be ran. Okay? I feel like he's missing key aspects of what made this Falcons offense so lethal a season ago. And everything that I say can be traced back to the running backs catching the football. This is the thing. It almost feels like this team under Sark's leadership as the offensive coordinator, they're not allowed to have two backs be prominent. Only one guy can shine. Why is it that in these last few weeks where Devontae Freeman was out due to the concussion, why was it that Tevin Coleman was shining like white diamonds? And now all of a sudden Devontae Freeman comes back and Tevin Coleman is invisible, almost as if he didn't play today. Why is that? They're both allowed to get touches and shine in this offense. There's enough footballs to go around for everyone. Julio can get his. Muhammad can get his. Devontae is supposed to get his. Tevin can get his and still have leftovers for the Marvin Halls and the Taylor Gabriels and all of the other guys, Austin Hoopers of the world. Everybody's supposed to still be able to get theirs. It just seems like it's not enough. When one running back is playing well, can't get the other guy in here. And if we do, it's the same old, same old. Like, he just frustrates me. But Vegeta's Dark Side says, it took all the way to week 13 for the Vikings left tackle to give up his first sack, a breath of fresh air this season. The offensive line has been a huge upgrade over last year. And that's an understatement. The offensive line and the injuries and the lack of play last year along that front was probably the single-handed biggest reason you suffered after the fast start to the season last year. So PD Pablo says, yo, for all the Redskins fans or Jets fans, support the Chargers. At least the next weeks you can see that you lost to a Super Bowl team and the L won't sting too bad. Hashtag Vikings ain't ish. Boy, see, this is what happens when you let teams that ain't used to winning win. They fans don't know how to act, man. Win with class, don't show your ass. That's what I was once told. Vegeta's Dark Side says, Cook was on his way to becoming that one player that people would have known. I feel that way. He was on his way, but let's see. The Dirty Bird Mafia 93 says, coming from a Falcons fan, Vikings are the team to watch in the NFC. That defense is insane. They played well, but I don't think I feel like the Panthers and the Vikings are one and the same. And this is why I said the Vikings fans are going to kill me. To me, their defenses are similar. They can get after your quarterback with a rush that is really good. Not necessarily, even though I think, like I said, when Everson Griffin is at his best, he's a standout pass rusher. But they have a defensive line that gets to the quarterback as a collective group, much like Carolina. Linebackers are extremely good, just like in Minnesota. Both of those groups of backers are outstanding. But the secondary leaves a lot to be desired. Now, unlike Carolina's defense, you have a star at the cornerback position that can shut down one side of the field. But the rest of your secondary, Same thing I feel about Carolina, except their whole secondary is, it's meh. And then on offense, I never know what Vikings team is going to show up on offense. The team that put 38 on the Redskins' head or the team that put up 14 today. It was enough in both instances, but I want more consistency. Like, they do just enough, right? They do just enough like they did this week. I want to see the team that destroyed the Rams a couple weeks ago. I want to see that team every week. Not the team that, 14 is enough this week, so we'll score 14. Because what happens when you're playing better opponents and 14 isn't enough? Can you go out and get 24? I'm not sure. I'm going to tell you, with the performance I saw on offense today, that wasn't a 24-point performance. That wasn't a 24-point offense. You may need, and the defense, while it was good, you go up against better quality offenses that actually play to the strengths of their team. Like I said, I've seen teams put up points like this. Right now, there's not a dominant defense in the NFL right now. Jacksonville is the closest you're going to get. I look around the NFL, there's not a dominant defense in this league. The Vikings are not dominant. The Panthers are not dominant. The Steelers are not dominant. The closest you're going to get is the Jacksonville Jaguars because they can shut you down at every single level. They can get after your quarterback. Their secondary is ridiculous. And their linebackers are just as fast, physical, and fly to the football as you'll find in the league. So their defense as a collective group will shut it down. Any given week, they can shut it down. The Vikings, I feel like you got guys that are good, but you can put up 30 on those boys. I've seen it done. So I've got my feelings about the Vikings. I feel like there's a ceiling on the Vikings. And again, Vikings fans are going to kill me. It's okay. I more than welcome your criticism. But that's just how I feel. It would not shock me if the Vikings got the number 1 seed, came off the bye, and lost in their first playoff game to a hot team. I could see that happening. I just can't. Vegeta's Dark Side says that game was going to whoever made the first mistake. Who would have thought that would have come from a missed field goal? By automatic of all people. Who would have thought? Not me. Anyway, let's keep it moving. Let's see. Where am I? Here we go. The Jesus Dark Side says, you're right, 3 straight. Cowboys, Seattle, Bucks. Okay, good. I was kind of back and forth with that. I thought I was missing something. The Jesus Dark Side says, you don't have to trust in Sark, but believe in Shermer. Dude's going to be a head coaching candidate this offseason. And I've got problems, just like with Dirk Cutter being a head coach, I've got a problem with Pat Shermer being a head coach. Pat Shermer doesn't strike me, much like Dirk Cutter, doesn't strike me as a leader of men. He seems like a really solid guy, a nice guy to have on your staff. I've seen Pat Shermer over the years. He doesn't strike me as a head coach, but we'll see. I could be wrong. Travis B says, I believe Zimmer is a lock for Coach of the Year. I believe he is in the discussion. I don't believe he's a lock. So I disagree with you, but boy, do I love Mike Zimmer as a coach. Damn, I love him. And his players love him. They love playing for him. I love Mike Zimmer. When he believes in you, like Terrence Newman, you ain't never got to worry about having a job. Mike will take you wherever the hell he goes. Whether it's Dallas, I'm going to Cincinnati. Pack your shit up, Terrence. We going to Cincinnati. Hey, Terrence, I'm moving on to Minnesota. You coming? You rolling or what? If he believes in you, if you ball for him, you've always got a job. I love Mike Zimmer. I love the way he coaches his team. They don't make a ton of mistakes. He manages the game well. Not a lot that you can say bad about Mike Zimmer, man. Reese says, Lou, I've hated the Falcons since I've known what football was. I'd much rather the Bucs win than anybody else lose. I figured you felt that way. It just seems like there's a vibe there with the Falcons, that's all. Nolan Pratt says, after this win, would you say the Vikings have the best defense in the NFL? No, I've already answered that. And did this game make you a Case believer, and are you still riding with Teddy? This game is – I believe that Case Keenum, within the framework of a game, can get the job done. Do I feel like Case is the long-term answer? I still have a hard time grasping that. I'm starting to believe that maybe Case Keenum is better than we thought. He just needed confidence. Because confidence is what is the difference between Tom Brady and Tom Brady being a 6th-round pick and the Tom Brady that we know is Tom TBE. Confidence is the only thing. He's come a long way from the guy that was holding the top of his head and he couldn't believe it after winning his first Super Bowl to expecting to win. Now, that's what confidence does for you. And Case Keenum might have just been one of those guys that just needed everywhere he's been, Houston, Rams, everywhere he's been around the league, he's never been told you're the guy. Now, in Houston, he could have won that job. He had ample opportunities to strangle that position and say, I'm the dude, I'm that guy. And it was in his hometown. You would have thought he would have had same type of defense, same type of guys around him, nuke, a big-time weapon, same type of infrastructure. He didn't do that in Houston. So it's hard for me to think that now all of a sudden the light bulbs come on. But sometimes, and I've said this a lot of times, everyone doesn't mature at the same rate. And maybe the light bulb has finally come on for Case Keenum. Or he could just be a one-year wonder. You give him a big deal this year in the offseason, and he stinks afterwards. It's possible. Somebody's going to pay Case Keenum in the offseason, though. Reese says, Mike Zimmer would fit with those old, hard-nosed coaches of the past like Mike Ditka. Love the way the guy approaches the game. I agree with you, man. I do. Reed also says, Sean McVay is doing his thing, Lou. Dude is a football prodigy. I didn't think he'd work out this quickly. I tried to warn y'all. Did I not try to warn y'all in the offseason? I personally, like you, Reed, didn't think that he was going to turn that Rams program around this quickly. Did I think they could win 8 or 9 games potentially this year? Sure. I didn't think they'd have 9 wins with 4 games to spare. Nah, you got me. I didn't see that one coming. Vegeta's Dark Side says, Trey Waynes and Alexander have grown this year. Waynes had a slow start, but he hasn't been getting embarrassed like he did in week 2. And that's fine. I understand that. Mackenzie Alexander is still, he's getting better. I agree with you there. I still think he's a bum that you can take advantage of. Trey Waynes, not so much a bum as is, I just think if you've got an elite guy in front of him, you can win that matchup. And so, to me, there are matchups to be taken advantage of. Like I said, I watched my Redskins abuse Waynes, and that's the move. You playing the Vikings, abuse Alexander and Waynes. Those are the guys you attack. You attack them vigorously. You attack them until they say no more, no mas. Putting a safety over the top, or we bracketing, or there's some kind of drastic measure they take to take a guy away. But I'm not going to beat my head up against a brick wall. So, yeah. Anyway, Marvelous Track says, do you think that the Falcons would fold again if they found a way back to the Super Bowl? And does Case Keenum deserve to be the Vikings franchise quarterback? I don't know if the Falcons would fold. They would definitely have learned from last year's Super Bowl collapse, and they would really make a concerted effort to not allow that to happen again. To answer, which I think is the better question, the Case Keenum question, I want to ask Vikings fans. Because I know a lot of Vikings fans that are torn. Still love Teddy, still think Teddy was on his way to being. And to me, what Case Keenum is doing, you telling me Teddy Bridgewater can't do that? But the difference is you're seeing Case Keenum do it. It's one thing to think a guy can do it. There's another thing to see a guy actually doing it. Case Keenum is leading you to the #1 seed in the NFC right now, currently as constituted. Teddy Bridgewater has never done this before. So the question you have to ask yourself is, do I trust Teddy to come back and be the Teddy that we think he was going to evolve into the year he got injured? And are we comfortable enough with Teddy Bridgewater to allow Case Keenum to just walk? Because if you don't resign Case Keenum, somebody else will. There are too many quarterback-needy teams out there that will jump at the opportunity to sign Case Keenum and Sam Bradford. Like, you've got 3 guys that are up for a contract this year, and you're only getting one of them back because all 3 of them look at themselves as starters. The only thing that I could ask the Vikings to do is to be cautious. And whoever you sign, whether it's Bridgewater or Keenum, you don't do it in terms of a super long-term deal, like a standard 5 or 6 year deal that you would see the big-time, big-name quarterbacks get. I would advise you to go the route of a 3-year deal. Heavy bonus, huge number, so that that quarterback decides, I don't need to go elsewhere, but make sure that there's an exit after the second year. Almost like a team option of sorts. That if this guy's not working out the way we want it, you can get out of that deal after 2 years. And then figure out, okay, what's the next move? But I'm dying to see what Vikings fans say. Vegeta's Dark Side says, I'm not saying Sherman should be a head coach, but I think he's going to be a candidate. We'll see. We'll see. Nolan Pratt says, I'm with Teddy over Case. I think a lot of Vikings fans still feel that way. Reese says, I questioned Alexander immediately when I learned he had a whopping 0 interceptions in college. The guy can't catch. He cannot catch. Vegeta's Dark Side says, I'm a Teddy fan. He will be back, and Keenum, in my opinion, will give a bigger offer than the Vikings. So I think it depends on less money or not, or if he goes with Sherman if hired. I think you can get Teddy on the cheap. And if I'm the Vikings, I think that's the route you take. And I really believe Mike Zimmer believes in Teddy Bridgewater. Everybody loves Teddy Bridgewater, including Mike Zimmer. And even though Case Keenum is bald for him this year, and I think he's really fallen in love with Case Keenum as a player and as a dude, I still think Teddy Bridgewater is his first love at the quarterback position for this team. And if they can get Teddy back on the cheap, which I think with the way Case is playing, Case is going to command more money on the free agent market. I think Teddy is the guy that they're going to re-sign back. But we're going to see. In any event, that's going to do it for this breakdown. Vikings get it done. 14-9 over the Falcons in what was a riveting football game. Came down to the last possession. Vikings able to get that last first down on a beautiful slant executed by Case Keenum and Adam Thielen, and put the game on ice. This was fun football. This had a playoff type feel to it, and you never know, these two teams might meet in the playoffs again. If they do, the game most likely would be in Minnesota, not Atlanta. But in any event, Vikings get the win, move to 10-2 right now, take the #1 seed over in the NFC currently with the win. Falcons fall out of the playoffs with this loss at 7-5 now, as they on the outside looking in with the Seahawks winning on Sunday Night Football. So Falcons have some work to do, but as I explained to my sister, everything you want is still in front of you. You want the division? It's yours for the taking. All you have to do, and easier said than done, win your final 4 games against 4 divisional opponents. 2 against the Saints, 1 against the Panthers, 1 against the Bucks. You sweep up the division, go 5-1 overall, 11-5, you win the division at 11-5. So everything you want is still in front of you if you're the Atlanta Falcons. Go get it done. That's going to do it for your man Louie T here on Lockdown Coverage. Much more to come, including more from this division. NFC South, Saints at home, taking on the Panthers. We've got Patriots, Bills, and Raiders hosting Giants still to come. So I'll see you. More Lockdown Coverage. Don't go anywhere. Late Night Louie coming at you. More Lockdown Coverage. See you in a bit.